Hello and welcome to the Canvas Report. I am Shannon. So this episode, we are going to be covering two tools from Utah's online library that can be used very nicely with Canvas. And we will also be looking at a new feature that will give you more feedback for online attendance, which could be really helpful if we have another snow day in the near future. So to begin with, we are going to be looking at Gale. Gale is a reference collection that has 10 databases in it. It has one for elementary, one for middle school, and then there are 8 that are appropriate for your high school students. There are 2 different ways that you can use Gale within your Canvas course. The first way is you can put any of those 10 databases and list it in your navigation menu. When you do that, it will then embed the database within your Canvas page. You would want to use Gale this way if you're ready for your students to do their own research. This doesn't give them a particular resource to look at. It gives them the database that they can then search and find resources right there within your Canvas course. So if you're ready for your students to be doing their own research, adding one of the databases to your navigation menu is an excellent way to do it. Second, you can go to the external tools app in your rich content editor, and you'd find that rich content editor whenever you are editing a content page, a quiz, a discussion, an assignment. Anywhere that you have access to that, you will have that external apps button, which looks like a little power plug. And from there, you would find whichever reference collection you are looking for, whether you are a middle school teacher or whether you are a debate teacher, whatever you're looking for, there are different databases that would be appropriate. And you could then select specific content that you would embed within the page. Now, this is a really nice feature because it comes with all of the accessibility features that you would have within Gale. So there is a screen reader that comes with it. There is a translation tool. There is also some visual text accessibility customization that you can do. So all of those features that you would find in Gale are embedded with the article when it's put in the content page or the assignment or however you choose to use it. Another lovely thing about Gale and the next tool that we'll be talking about is that using them in Canvas this way makes them authentication free, meaning that now when your students are using any resources from Utah's online library, if they're at school, they never have to log in. But if they're at home, they do need a login. Putting the tools like Gale and Emedia, which we'll talk about in a second, putting those as LTIs in your Canvas course means that even if your students are at home, they should not need a login to use it. So it simplifies things that way. So using Gale with your Canvas course is a great way to get additional content to your students. The Gale LTI has been available for a while, maybe a couple of years now. We have another LTI that I mentioned a second ago that is brand new, and that is the Emedia LTI. If you haven't checked out Emedia, it is a treasure trove of wonderful teaching resources for you. There are videos, there are images, there are full textbooks, there are science simulations, so many different things that you can share with your students. Now, keep in mind with Emedia, some of the resources in Emedia are not student facing. They are really just a teacher resource. So definitely preview your content before you share it with your student to make sure that it is appropriate for them. To get to the Emedia LTI, you would go to that same external apps button. You would find Emedia on the list. And then from there, you'd be able to browse different collections. If you are part of any groups, if you've saved any content yourself, you'd be able to access that. And then you would insert it into, again, your content page, your assignment, your discussion, your quiz. Anywhere where there is the rich content editor, you can add this. The one difference with Emedia versus Gale is Emedia inserts a link that then the resource would open in a new tab where Gale embeds it. But it still brings that same content that's so excellent for enhancing what you're already doing with your students. Okay, so that was your Utah's Online Library tips. The next one that we are going to be talking about is a brand new feature called online attendance that will help you to better understand if you are teaching in an online environment, a hybrid environment, if it's a snow day. It'll help you to better understand if your students are interacting with your Canvas course the way that you would expect them to when you are not in person. This feature of online attendance has to be enabled by your Canvas admin. When your admin enables it, they're able to set some initial criteria for what online participation looks like. Now, if they choose to, they can also turn on the ability for you as the instructor to then customize those participation criteria for your course. There are a lot of things, though, that definitely hinge on your Canvas admin, so make sure that you guys are on the same page. Maybe send them this video. So you can select multiple criteria to define participation. You can say, I need them to submit an assignment and complete a discussion. If your student does any of those criteria, they will be marked as attended for that day. The way that you would access that report is it's in the new analytics portion of your course. Now, if you haven't taken a look at that yet, go to any of your Canvas courses, go to the home page, and in the top right corner, there is near the top a button that says New Analytics. When you click on that, if online attendance is enabled, it'll be one of the tabs that comes up in the window that you see. And that's where you'll be able to get some feedback for whether your students have attended, again, in either an online or a hybrid environment. As always, I have multiple resources linked below to help you better understand how you can use online attendance to better understand your students' participation in your course. There are also resources that would be really helpful to share with your Canvas admin if they're not familiar with this. Along with those resources, there are videos and documents to help understand use of Gale and Emedia. Hopefully you have found something that is helpful, that can enhance what you are already doing within your Canvas course. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.